It's genuine. You're just like, oh my god.
Yeah. I don't like. Yeah, I'm not gonna be like for like, oh my god, like like it's not. We're not gonna fake it out here. So you know, I
It's
can
not our
easily,
normal.
I can
It's not
easily.
it's not like normal reactions of what the fuck is going on. That probably
Yeah,
gonna be me because I worked very
yeah,
hard to avoid spoilers this
You were lucky. Yeah. You're lucky. I wish I should have even like messaged you. Like I should have been like the first thing. Don't check Twitter.
Get off of Twitter right now. I
Yeah.
see you be tweeting shit. Get off.
Yeah, I would be like, get off of Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, social media. Don't even look at it. He was like,
They got it. Like I don't. It hasn't come up on my TikTok yet, so I don't get any Creature Commandos stuff. But everything else I watch is on TikTok. Yeah, if it had hit my algorithm, I'm 100% would have been spoiled this morning. I know I would have. Yeah, right now it's all Marvel Rivals bullshit. So.
Oh yeah. Marvel Rivals saving you from the spoiler in this episode.
Marvel once again coming in the clutch.
Yeah, Marvel saving DC. With that said, folks, let's go ahead jump into Creature Commandos episode 6. Oh my.
This looks like Gotham. Sounds like Gotham.
And Creature Commandos is all new characters, right?
What happened?
Creature Commandos is all new characters, essentially, right? No. Okay.
Well, new to the DC
universe.
CU. Like
is this Penguin? Hold on. Chilling in the trash. She said, I'm trying to stay 10 toes down. Okay.
Thank God.
Yo, she about to blow your brains out.
You got to stop them.
Yeah.
She's not scared.
Yeah. Hey, publicly violent.
You need therapy. I mean, yes.
Yeah.
I should be a voice actress and just do that in all the shows.
Like, listen. I'm sure they would. Nah, y'all can get the fuck out of here.
You to be leaving. She's one of the actresses. The voice of this lady.
Categories.
What? Oh, he's not dead.
Right?
Yeah.
I told you.
Something bad's about to happen. Oh yeah, well, it's already happened. It's already happened.
I'll be joining
Jesus.
Afghanistan tonight. Been bamboozled by malevolent forces.
Man,
she's
son.
about to kill us. Once I save her from making this romantic adventure, turn the fuck around and fly.
Yo, son. Oh man. It's definitely not. Wonder how his body became like this.
I think we're good in this episode. Oh, dude, I love that.
Oh man. Okay.
Alex.
Hold on, let me bring it back.
That's worth dealing with anyone.
Oh, you know what happens when you find out the truth?
Maybe
You cannot solve cancer in this world.
there is some.
Oh my
My
god.
God.
Sorry, Sartorius, but this is the way it has to be.
Jesus.
Get his prince in there good.
Bro. Bro.
My God.
Friends. Yeah. Man, we got the wolf pack.
This line of work.
Bet for ourselves than that.
No thanks. I mean that, yes. Fuck men, but like.
She's like, you use your body to kill your.
This is how you respect yourself.
Get him.
Your eyes tell story. You have no respect for yourself, nor for anyone else. These girls here.
Boy's having the time of his life right now.
like jealous. Like if only.
And so this is how.
Self with nuclear energy.
Only that this is going to, yeah. Oh, there it is, Skelet.
Yeah.
Jesus. Only that this didn't work out the way they thought it was gonna work out.
Burn all their faces.
Oh, drop a thorn, sure. Bro, what the fuck?
Get out this minute.
Bitch hit me!
I told him he was outing me.
Get not use their powers on premise.
Bro.
You're the kind of piss. What crap? I think that got me going.
Get away from her and get out, like she said.
What kind of freak are you?
Oh. Oh.
Everywhere. All right.
You crashed the wrong whole
Get fucked.
Get fucked, fuckers.
Oh. Electricity though. Oh man. Get fucked.
Yes. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's delicious.
Ooh,
Love it.
fatality.
Love it.
how you expected your day to end.
Fatality.
Yes, sadly.
Get fucked.
It's because I was saving you again, idiot.
Because you are, my friend.
Get over yourself, fish.
I love them so much.
There's Weasel here.
See, you and the commenter were right. Look at you guys. Man, just stay. Just peace. Just please. Just have peace. Don't be a good man.
A name? I can see if you're on the.
Bro, he about to put his whole.
Yeah, bro, you should. I would have just hit that button and be like, "This job ain't worth it. This job is not worth whatever this is."
Oh, he's about to annihilate the whole family.
Oh my god.
Oh man. He's going to town. Oh, he's gonna let you go, all right. Oh
Sure.
man, just drop it in.
Was Rupert Thorne's, isn't
Oh man, all the money in the world, but his family, yeah. Yeah, so that was what I was spoiled on. Let's see your face.
Come on, flag.
It makes sense. Like I said, it sounds like it's Gotham. Well, eventually Batman's gonna have to show up.
Oh man.
Whoa. The new look is hot.
Now can it, Jack Skellington?
Oh man. Yeah. So now you know what I was spoiled on.
Oh, I was
and then,
spoiled on that too, but I didn't think
Yeah.
anything of it. I was just like, oh, I thought that was someone's art. I didn't
Oh, you didn't, yeah.
think that it was from this. I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So that is officially Batman's official introduction into the DCU. Since then, like, cause I was already spoiled, so like then James Gunn talked about, you know, Batman pretty much. He's like he not doing no origin story, you know, and whatever. Like when he said, "Well, we'll find out which Batman this is," you know, sooner rather than later and whatnot. But it looks like it's cool. Whatever it's gonna be an animated feature, animated series. but there's obviously now we know there's history between Dr. Phosphorus and Batman, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, that, like I said, like especially because like if there's of the DC stuff, the stuff that like I think I mentioned before that I've interacted most with was Batman. Like I believe that was like my official introduction to anything DC comic related. So yeah, that being especially for how cool he looked like when I like after that I was like damn, because I saw it too. I thought it was like a new Batman series and whatnot about to be announced, and then there was this like, oh yeah, Creature Commandos, y'all, how could y'all do this to us and whatnot, like in terms of like y'all just go drop the Batman and then just leave like the next scene. I was like fuck, this is in Creature Commandos. Yeah, so that was I didn't know the context of it, but
right. Obviously, I didn't know either. I thought it was fan art.
yeah.
But I'll say this: like, it's gonna get confusing because technically, Peacemaker is part of the Snyderverse. Because he's in the Suicide Squad with Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, and who's in Birds of Prey, The Emancipation of Harley Quinn, who's in Suicide Squad. And both those movies are tied to Ben Affleck Batman. So when the first episode I said that you could watch that to get a little bit more context about some of the characters, it's mostly just the Flags and Peacemaker, knowing how it connects. So I know people were commenting like, well, it's a new universe. I'm like, it technically really isn't, because there's still, because Peacemaker debuted in a semi Snyderverse offshoot, there's connective tissue there. Now it's kind of just going forward to see what happens after that. What happens going forward now. I think it's smart starting out with his, like, for James Gunn, starting out with like animated stuff. I'd completely understand if like everything going forward was animated, but they just announced like obviously the new Superman movie's coming out, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow's coming out with Jason Momoa as Lobo. So like I don't know, this is the kind of thing where I really wish we didn't have so many superhero or DC and Marvel movies coming out all at the same time from so many different people. Because it all gets murky and muddy, and we could argue, I mean, honestly, argue with your mom about it, but there's connective tissue here. So it's going to be interesting to see who he picks as the Bruce Wayne for this and how they kind of slip it into that this is a new universe. Obviously, you could just be like, well, it's an Elseworld or a multiversal story, but yeah, to me, it's just like, if only Peacemaker hadn't debuted in the Suicide Squad, I think it would have been an easier, cleaner cut, but it is what it is. So yeah, just showing Batman is just like, oh man, look, I'm a fan of Batfleck. I liked Ben Affleck as Batman. I like Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne. I think it would be cool to give him another chance at it. I know he doesn't want to do it anymore, considering all the bullshit that's happened over the years. But I feel he didn't really get like a good shot at it. And now since Jason Momoa is no longer Aquaman, Arthur Curry, yeah, it's just, to me, this is all really messy. And I kind of wish Creature Commandos didn't show Batman at all, but it makes sense because you open with Gotham, you open with Gotham type music, you know where this is going. Yeah, and obviously the Flags. So yeah, I think I don't get so hyped for anything Batman and Superman going forward, just because there's so much of it. I think that's why I like Creature Commandos so much. I think it's also why when it comes to the MCU, I like the Werewolf by Night short that happened, because it's all like, these are companies that have so many different characters with so many different walks of life that, of course, you connect to a Gotham or a Metropolis or the Mascara and so on and so forth, but that you could pluck out of obscurity and create a story out of, like Creature Commandos, right? Oh yeah, and the Weasels in the Suicide Squad. But yeah, it's yeah, I just I mean, I'm curious to see how it's all going to connect and how he's going to rewrite it, or how, the creatives that he gets on his team are going to rewrite it going forward. Um, it's also possible that this Batman could be Dick Grayson Batman. That would be an interesting take. I mean, would it? Maybe, I don't know, because then we wouldn't get Dick Grayson, Robin, Dick Grayson, Nightwing, and it would just jump to Dick Grayson, Batman. Um, a lot to think about. Yeah, I don't know. I
Mhm.
think I'm happy people are getting hyped about it, but for me, because I look at all this stuff as a collective like whole, not whole.
Well, there were many holes in this episode, so.
Right. Yeah, that's just how I view how things have gone pretty quickly in DC cinematic universe and in the MCU in the last couple years, that everyone's just creating things that have sort of connective tissue, but it's meant to be its own story, but then we're gonna throw in multiverse to explain this, to explain that, and it's just like, honestly, for all the bullshit I give the Arrowverse, to me they did it the best. Just have Barry run through the Speed Force and go, okay, well, this is how it works.
Mhm.
It's tapped into all this stuff, or the Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is still
Yeah.
one. Like, the Arrowverse, in my opinion, has the best crossover DC stories in the last like 15 years. So
Mhm.
it's gonna be interesting to see how they go forward doing this. That with all that said, um, yeah, you open up a story in Gotham, you kind of have to expect that you're gonna get a Batman at the end of it. I don't know anything about Dr. Phosphorus outside of the show, so I couldn't even tell you if he's a Batman villain or if he's like a Superman. Like, I don't know.
Mhm.
This obviously isn't my first time being introduced to him. I've seen him in things, but because I don't care about Batman much outside of like Barbara and Helena and Selena and Ivy and Harley, all the girly pops, and Dick and the Titans. I guess I care about Batman.
It's going back to earlier statements. Like, yeah, I'm not that much of a Superman. And then you name every Superman that's ever been, and I'm just like, Batgirl, you're a Batman fan.
Yeah.
Retcon.
I guess I am a retcon and retconning this. I am a
live retcon. Oh man.
Yeah. I think also too. Just one last thing. I think also too, considering that we still have Matt Reeves's Penguin, and well, no, he didn't do the Penguin, but the Penguin is in his universe, in his Batman Robert Pattinson universe. People shouting out that they want James Gunn's Superman to meet Matt Reeves' Batman. It's obvious that this is now a completely different universe, but you see what I mean? We have so many different hands in this pot creating all these things, and it's just, to me, I'm sick and tired. I need everyone to get together and figure out what they're doing and map it out and make it more cohesive, because it's been like this for, in my opinion, the last 20, 30 years. Well, that maybe I'm a little too young to say 30, but like,
I know there's
yeah.
another Batman out right now, comic wise, that 3 months ago, absolute Batman. So it's just, yeah.
Well, yes, but the comics are a different thing.
Yeah.
The comics are like, well, this is an Elseworld, and you get it. And I guess, if you're a comic book fan, you could just kind of tap it as, well, this is an Elseworld, and it's all going on at the same time. But even sometimes, even when I read comics, I'm like, I need a little bit more. I need to know what's happening, where's what's going on, and I'm also thinking sadly about the general public, I guess. Where do all the roads lead, right? But yeah, that's it. I'll just take it as it's an Elseworld until they actually state what the fuck is going on. But yeah, this episode was great. Another sad that episode. Um, I really feel for Phosphorus. I think that's the point of the show, to feel for all the characters that are in this situation, as we've talked about in previous episodes. They're all there for a reason, and it all seems everyone's there not of their own. Obviously, you're in prison and you have a bomb in your neck. That's not of your own free will and volition. But like, you know, with Weasel, his circumstances, now understanding Phosphorus's circumstances, that he was, as it goes, a scientist that gets caught up and trying to do better for the world, works with the wrong people, sadly. But in my opinion, when it comes to the sciences and figuring out cures for illnesses, everyone is the wrong person. Your own government is the wrong person. So I personally don't even think, even if he got the right kind of help, he, like, oh, maybe his wife and kid wouldn't have died. I mean, I don't know, maybe they would have, but like, yeah, that really sucks. And it's completely, again, understandable why he would go after the man who did what was done to him in the exact same way. RIP to those kids, but you know,
Collateral
it's again,
damage.
yeah, but it's that thing too, right? Where we've talked about, like in Supercell, and other things that we watch, that me personally, I never understand when those who are in this line of work think that their families are safe. You brought your family along into this. You're, just because you have power never means your family is safe. No matter how much power, as we all know with all these stories, no family is safe no matter who's on the top of, you know, the pyramid. No matter who's on top of the pile doesn't mean your family is safe. Like, I mean, but that's why there's always, they have these contingency plans of getting your family out of there, or, you know, extra passports and money hidden away to let them run, and, you know, all this other bullshit. So because you have a dad who does bad stuff, sadly, you are the collateral damage. With Phosphorus, it's like, it's not like he was doing bad stuff, but he was working with bad men. And to think that your family is safe from that, which
especially when you're lying to people that, you know, you're working for.
Yeah. And his wife said it too. It's like, this isn't the right way. These are, you know, but you know, warnings only go so far when you have a goal in mind. And even though his goal was a good goal, that's not how, sadly, that's not how the world works. But yeah, and then turning to a life of crime, because obviously going through a super traumatic situation as being framed for the murder of your son and wife after, you know, seeing their dead bodies, being fucking tortured to death by your own experiment, being changed, and then going on a killing spree. Yeah, that's gonna fuck up your brain. So him trying to replace all those feelings and turning into a life of crime, to me, makes sense. Like, as we saw with him dancing and the memories of his wedding night, it is, no matter how much money you make, how many people you kill, how much land you take, how much drugs you sell, it's not going to take away the pain you feel from what's happened to you. It's just going to keep burying, well, it doesn't even bury it, right? It just kind of covers it up a little bit, but the cracks are still there and it's still shining through. So yeah, and then him getting arrested, you go, okay, well, he made the choice to do bad things after the fact, to do more bad things. Well, no, those assholes deserve it. I don't really think killing those men is a bad thing. But you know, selling the drugs and taking over his land and so on and so forth. His territories, sorry, not his land, his territories, Thorne's territories. And to continue that mobster life of crime, getting arrested kind of is also the course of these things, but ending up as what he is, you know, in Amanda Waller's clutches, it really does suck. It's all about the stories that bring us to this point, and we're learning them. And I guess Nina's supposed to be next. Hopefully, Nina's next in the season finale. Yeah, and then also understanding that metahumans are pretty much like the mutants, sort of the DC universe. They're individuals with powers, or enhanced individuals. And I like that they shout that out, because I can't even think of any recent DC stuff outside of maybe a small handful of cartoons that mentions the word metahumans. Not that I can remember right now, but please correct me if I'm wrong. Like, but I don't think in any of the live action movies or shows have they mentioned metahumans. Right? I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so. Anyway, so it's nice to have that like comic book shout out there. The whorehouse is, it kind of is that connective tissue of the fear of rape and rape actually happen and the danger of men when they get into these situations that, you know, I've been talking about since the Brides episode and when the Sons of Themyscira took over the or like raided the palace. That these kind of things are just sadly part of the course, and I'm glad the Bride and Nina were there to fucking hand those assholes their heart and brain and guts. Fuck them. But I think the madam telling the Bride exactly, like reading her for filth, essentially saying that like, you know, we don't look down on sex work. We support sex work in this house and sex workers in this house. But yeah, just telling her you can't look down on sex work when you're pretty much just doing the same thing, right? She says use your body for killing instead of pleasure, and they're trying to survive doing this, and you're just trying to die. It's all the same. It's all the same. They're trying to find a reason to live. You're trying to give yourself trying to figure out how to kill yourself, right? It's all the same. We all have motives for the things that we do. It doesn't make you any better than us, and it doesn't make you any less than us. We're women in this world, trying to figure out how to survive in this world one way or another. I think even trying to figure out how to end your own life is a form of survival, because it's not like, you know, she's killed herself just yet. She's still, the Bride, I mean, she's still going. And, you know, she finds reasons to help in a way too, right? It's not like she's evil that we've seen. She just is doing a job. And it's kind of really like one of those situations where if you have been isolated and alone, you kind of stew in your own feelings, but once you get certain people around you, you start seeing the world in a different way. And that's the influence of Nina, so to speak, even though it's been a short amount of time since they've really interacted, right? She helped Nina in the food line. She tried to, like, she did that as an apology for almost getting Nina killed. She's making sure Nina is safe. She made sure that those women are safe. She didn't have to get involved, but she did. And yeah, she protected that house. And now it's kind of one of those things where even though you're from here, you're now always welcomed here. And I think there's a beauty in that, right? I think we as women need to figure out how to stand by each other and protect each other, even if we don't always. Let me not end that sentence that way, because some bitches are dumb and deserve a punch in the face. But like, in this situation, I like that. And I think it's important to say these kinds of things, or to show these kinds of things for these characters. Especially going along with the story of, you know, we don't know exactly how everyone ended up in Waller's Suicide Squad. And in this short amount of time for this mission, how these kind of things can really change people, and obviously get to know them. And if it wasn't for, like, okay, so let's say, right, also have to take into account that if this was like a real world thing, we obviously wouldn't get their backstory, right? Like if you're chugging along on a mission like this, you don't get people's backstory unless they tell you. So we're privy by the magic of television and animation to get their backstory, to have a better understanding of these characters, right? So the magic of storytelling is a wonderful thing, because we now understand and sympathize thus far with everyone. We still don't know Nina's story. I think we like her because she's the nicest and she's the most innocent, right? But again, I still question
find out that she's gonna be a vicious killer,
a menace,
like a whole
true menace
to society, man. Like that's we're gonna find out. Like, you know, she's like not as nice as everyone's been like, oh, poor Nina, and then you find out that she out here could body all of you, like
right, exactly. It's poor Nina until yeah. And I think I also just want to say I forgot to mention in the last episode why I got hyped when Clayface turned on the Xbox and he was playing Mortal Kombat, and it's because, you know, for those in the know, you know that DC versus Mortal Kombat was a game, so they have, you know, a connective tie to the NetherRealm stuff. And I was just like, oh, that's a good Easter egg. That's so cool. It makes so much yeah, I've been thinking about that all week. Like, I'm still so geeked about stuff like that. Just to me, when you love something so much, like I love comic books so much, right? And I love the live action media, and I love the animated adaptations. I love the video games, you know, I love the novels. I love all this stuff. And I just love when you know a nerd. Well, I mean, considering this is also a WB product, and you know, NetherRealms, I believe, was working with WB for Warner Brothers for a while.
Yeah. They make Injustice together.
Right. It's just like, you know, when you get little Easter eggs like that, when you could tell when someone actually is kind of paying attention to the wider world of the IP around them and adds it in. So yeah, I was really geeked about that. But yeah, good episode. 10 out of 10. I get why Weasel went. I wish Weasel stayed with his wolf pack. I don't want anything bad to happen to Weasel. Too much bad has happened to that man. He was happy, and I don't want him to do the right thing. It always sucks when you see someone you want the best for do the right thing, and you're like, the right thing's gonna end up bad for you, please. But then also when I think about it, if Waller finds out that he is MIA, she's just gonna blow the bomb in his neck up, and then none of us will be happy, and I'll just but yeah, what else? I'm glad that Phosphorus didn't kill that little girl, because it seemed like he was going to. It's very heartbreaking that he relived that moment with that little girl with his son, and knows he's got a job to do. That, again, killing this little girl isn't going to make up for the loss of his son. Flag, I was right when I called it last episode that he's going to survive, because I'm sure Waller has somebody tailing him or watching him. As we see, there's a chance of his survival.
Yeah, because Eric brung him there, or just dropped him.
Oh, right, that's right. But then how did they? So it's that thing. But obviously, unless Flag has Waller as his emergency contact, unless she was following him, there's no way that she would have known. You know what I mean? So she obviously had to have someone following him in order to know that he made it to the hospital. Or at least that's kind of how I'm kind of trying to justify how Waller and this dude showed up at the hospital. Obviously they have a deeper relationship. That's why she's hoping that he pulls through. Hopefully we get a little bit of that. I believe this got announced that there will be a season 2, which I think would be really cool. Week. Yeah. And even if that doesn't get tied up, hopefully in season 2 that gets answered. Yeah. Honest 10 out of 10 episode. I really enjoyed this episode. I really did. Yep.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm not gonna rehash much of anything. Just on the Batman thing. The like seeing, because I saw the little interview that he did as well just before this. Like, so once I was spoiled, I was like, all right, might as well just see what else was being announced from him. And you know, it's and him saying that, you know, his favorite superhero is Batman, so he's gonna be taking his time with the story itself. But he says there's too many introductions and whatnot, so that's why he doesn't want to focus on an origin story. And of course you got people's like, well, how are we gonna know his origin story? Like, we gonna know what? And then he's like, essentially, you know, they're going off of, well, we'll see which Batman, of course it is, right? You know, if it was a brand new Batman, then, you know, it would get an origin story. He would say this is that Batman's origin story, right? But I mean, now that just him saying that alone, that it's not an origin story, lets us know that this is a Batman we've seen before. It just, you know, now it goes to the annals of times about which one, right? Given that we've seen Batman, Cersei is from Wonder Woman, we know that this whole DC universe is being brought together. It makes me think that in the next phases, because this is a 10-year plan, over the next 10 years, I'm expecting, like, you know, to see a Batman animated, a Wonder Woman animated. My main thing is going to be how we connect these animated series to the live action movies that they're going to be doing as well. Because that's a little bit different from the Marvel universe, where everything is live action, to my knowledge, and there's nothing really animated that will go along with what's going on in the MCU, to my knowledge.
The closest that we have would be the What If series, a little bit, and then that kind of, because of what happens in What If and what happens at the end of Endgame and Infinity War, I was gonna say Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity War, knowing that the multiverse exists, and then seeing the spoilers for X-Men 97, and seeing that we see the Beyonder in X-Men 97 episode 5, and then also seeing what happens at the end of the third Spider-Man movie. It's kind of like there's sort of animated stuff connected, but it's all like, well, we're letting you know there's a multiverse, so you don't really have to think too hard about it. Just know we can open up a door and it goes there, but it's only really connected by the idea of the multiverse.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, which is because that's, so comparing that, which is a little, I guess you could say, it's more so vague, you know. Like, there's not right now, I guess you say, there's nothing truly concrete, which is the direction that the DCU is going to be taking, where there's going to be animated series that will overlap with the live action, you know. And I think that itself is pretty interesting, like an interesting route to go about it. I know there's other IPs that have done that before, where, you know, it's a canon live action and then it goes into like an animated, so, you know, especially because they're trying to build on so many different projects and highlight, you know, a lot of these different characters. Who knows who's gonna show up in the last episode, especially because it will be the last episode. I won't be surprised if Superman at this point shows up, and then you have your, or Wonder Woman shows up in the last episode. We haven't seen Cersei since she got her ass beat, so what's going on with her, especially now we know that Clayface was impersonating the doctor, you know, so like that is still a bombshell waiting to drop. How much of Cersei's vision was true about Ilana, right? You know, we don't know. There's so many things that can happen for the last episode, that the character I'm afraid for the most is you know, it's actually Weasel, you know. I like, this man is not he don't really feel like a superhero, you know. You don't feel like a villain, just feel like one of the boys, and we already lost one of the boys to GI Robot, and I don't know, man, like, you know, like how I feel like Weasel is the easiest character just to get clapped, and you're just like, damn son, why I have to be my boy?
I might have to quit James Gunn's DC stuff. Look, man.
Yeah, like,
I don't want I don't want any of them to die. I really don't, because I do love these merry band of misfits. I really do. I love each one of them genuinely.
Someone's going outside.
Something about Weasel, man, is my sweet boy, even though he's probably just a man. My sweet Weasel man.
I won't,
dies.
Man.
I don't know.
I won't be surprised if Ilana is the one that claps Weasel, bro. Like,
oh my God.
Like, I mean, listen, man, Ilana, listen, we've moved on from the simpage of Flag. Yeah, we would have still did what Flag did, but at the same time, I mean, they even playing up this Ilana card. So are we gonna see Gorilla Grodd, right? That's Grodd or Grodd, or okay, yeah. Like, there's so many things that can happen for this final episode, which makes me excited. But I'm so thankful that there will be a season 2. You know, considering that you know, HBO has been dropping so many of the other series, I'm like, what's going on, bro? Like, this is the whole point of having the streaming platform, but they just, you know, they let go of Static Shock and some other series. I'm just like, bro, what are you guys doing here? Like, oh man, but that's another discussion for another day. Yeah, 10 out of 10 episode. There's I mean, yeah, it's nothing else I really want to like deep dive more so into.
And hey, the bride, you know, whenever everything is all done and you're looking for the companion
Mhm.
to walk the world with you, I'm free most days except for when we're filming. But you know, I can do that on location. Just give me a call.
Gonna have
It's
to
all
get
good.
rid of Eric. Yeah.
Fuck that man. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of him. I'm not scared of him.
You gonna have to get rid of that man, bro. Yeah.
I think for other reasons outside of the bride, we just need to get rid of him. But yes, I'm not scared of that man. I'm not scared.
No, you gonna absolutely have to get rid of him. Oh man. All right. Well, with that said, we'll be catching you guys next time. You already know. Doses.